My dear brothers and sisters, today I stand before you to remind you of a truth as old as time itself. Words have power. The words you whisper in the quiet of the morning, the words you murmur when no one is watching, the words you declare when the world is pressing down on your shoulders, these words shape your life. Too often we wait for others to affirm us. We wait for the world to grant us permission to be great, to be strong, to be beautiful. But I tell you today, do not wait. Bless yourself. Speak life over yourself. Say, I am worthy. I am loved. I am powerful. Because when you speak blessings upon yourself, you open the doors of possibility. You call forth the divine strength within you, the courage to rise, and the wisdom to walk in your purpose. There will be moments when the world is unkind. You will hear voices, some from others, some from within, that try to diminish your light. They will tell you that you are not enough. But I ask you, whose voice will you believe? The voice of fear or the voice of faith? The voice of doubt or the voice of destiny? When you wake up each morning, stand before the mirror and declare, I am here on purpose. I am more than enough. I am blessed beyond measure. Let your words be a shield against despair and a torch lighting the path ahead. There was once a woman who walked through the world with her head bowed low. She carried the weight of every cruel word ever spoken over her. But one day she lifted her head, placed her hand over her heart, and said, I am more than the names they have called me. I am more than my past. I am more than my pain. I am divine, whole, and worthy. And from that day forward, she rose. You see, my friends, when you speak love over yourself, the world begins to reflect it back to you. When you walk in the truth of your own worth, doors open that once seemed locked. So I charge you today, bless yourself with your words. Not because the world always will, but because you deserve to be spoken to with kindness, especially by your own tongue. You see, every word you speak carries a force. Every sentence you utter leaves an imprint. What you say to yourself in the quiet when no one else is around molds the very foundation of your being. When you say, I am not good enough, the world listens and echoes it back to you. When you say, I will never succeed, the path before you bends to match those words. But when you say, I am worthy, I am capable, I am strong, the universe shifts to make it so. Think of a child who is told from the moment they can understand language that they are smart, kind, and loved. That child will walk into the world with a light in their eyes, unafraid to dream, unafraid to try. But take another child, one who has been told they are worthless, that they will never amount to anything. That child will shrink in the presence of opportunity. That child will hesitate where confidence should have carried them forward. Why? Because words have already shaped their reality, and my friends, that does not just apply to children. It applies to you, it applies to me, it applies to every soul walking this earth. If you spend your days speaking defeat over yourself, do not be surprised when defeat meets you at every corner. If you declare that you are unlucky, unworthy, or unloved, the world will arrange itself to prove you right. But if you wake up each morning and say, I am here for a reason, I am filled with light, I am ready for blessings, then blessings will find you. There is an old story of a traveler who came across two men laying bricks. He asked the first man, what are you doing? The man replied, I am laying bricks, one after another, until the day is done. The traveler then asked the second man, and what are you doing? That man lifted his head, smiled, and said, I am building a cathedral. Both men were doing the same work, but one saw toil and the other saw purpose. One saw exhaustion, the other saw creation. And what made the difference? The words they used to describe their lives. You must understand your life is listening to you. It hears the way you speak about yourself, and it moves accordingly. Speak weakness, and you will feel weak. Speak joy, and you will attract joy. Speak blessings, and blessings will rise to meet you. There is no magic in this, no mystery beyond your own voice. You have the power. You always have. It is in the words you choose, in the declarations you make, in the way you frame your journey. So from this moment forward, speak with intention, speak with love, speak with the knowledge that every word you say is shaping the world around you. There comes a time in every life when we must decide, will we stand in our own power, Or will we wait for the world to tell us who we are? Too many people spend their days waiting, hoping, yearning for someone to see them, to recognize them, to validate their existence. They wait for a parent's approval, a friend's encouragement, a lover's praise. They wait for the world to turn toward them with open arms and say, "You are enough." But what if I told you that waiting is a trap? What if I told you that the world will not always grant you the affirmation you seek? And what if I told you that you do not need it, not one bit, not 1 ounce, not one breath of it? Because the truth is, no one, not your family, not your friends, not the ones you admire, has the power to define you. Only you can do that. Imagine a singer with a voice as rich as the earth, as powerful as the sea. She sings from the depths of her soul, but no one claps, no one acknowledges her gift. Does that mean her voice is not beautiful? Does that mean she should stop singing? No, the power of her voice does not depend on applause. The music within her is real whether or not anyone listens. And so it is with you. Your worth is not a prize to be handed to you by someone else. It is not a reward that comes only when the world finally decides to see you. It is already inside of you, waiting to be claimed. You see, my friends, when you rely on others to affirm you, you give away your power. You put your self-worth in their hands, and some people, knowingly or unknowingly, will never give it back. Some will withhold their words of encouragement because they do not know how to give love freely. Some will see your light and try to dim it, afraid that your brightness will make their own seem dull. And some will simply be too blind, too distracted, too caught up in their own lives to notice your brilliance. But none of that changes the fact that you are brilliant. Think of the great trees that stand tall in the forest. No one tells them they are magnificent, yet they stretch their limbs toward the heavens. No one praises the river, yet it continues to flow, carving valleys and shaping landscapes. The sun does not wait for permission to rise, nor does the moon ask for approval to glow. Nature does not wait to be acknowledged, it simply is. And so must you be. Do not linger in the shadows, hoping for someone to finally say, "I see you." Do not quiet your voice, waiting for permission to speak. Do not hesitate in your walk, hoping someone will tell you that you are headed in the right direction. Stand tall, speak boldly, walk with confidence. Because if you spend your life waiting for affirmation, you will spend your life waiting. You were born whole. You were born with purpose. You were born with a light that no one can extinguish. Do not ask others to confirm what you already know in your soul. Bless yourself. Speak your own truth. And most of all, never ever wait for the world to tell you who you are. There is a force within you, a power that no one can take away. It does not come from the approval of others, nor does it rely on the changing tides of the world. This power is yours alone, and it lies in the words you speak over yourself. It is called self-affirmation. You see, every great movement, every extraordinary act, every transformation in history began not with the applause of a crowd, but with a single voice, a single belief, a single person who dared to declare, "I am capable. I am enough. I am worthy." It was not the world that lifted them first, it was their own conviction. And if you listen closely, you will hear that same power within you waiting to be spoken into existence. The way you talk to yourself matters. The words you repeat in your mind shape your actions, your confidence, your very essence. If you tell yourself you are not good enough, you will hesitate. If you convince yourself you are weak, you will shrink in the face of challenge. But if you declare with strength and certainty that you are powerful, that you are intelligent, that you are ready for greatness, then the world itself will bend to make it true. Think about the great oak tree. It does not ask permission to grow. It does not wait for encouragement to spread its roots deep and stretch its arms toward the sky. It simply grows because that is what it was meant to do. And so it is with you. You were not meant to stay small, to live in doubt, to question your own worth. You were meant to rise. You were meant to step boldly into your purpose. And that begins with the words you speak over yourself. Too often we are our own worst critics. We stand before the mirror and pick ourselves apart. We replay our mistakes, our flaws, our shortcomings as if they are the sum total of who we are. We give more weight to our failures than to our victories. But what if, instead of tearing yourself down, you built yourself up? What if every morning, before the world had the chance to tell you who you are, you told yourself? Stand before that mirror and say, I am strong, I am intelligent, I am worthy of love and success. I am a force of nature and nothing can break me. Say it even if you do not believe it yet. Say it until the words feel less like hope and more like truth. Say it until your spirit straightens, until your head lifts, until your heart begins to agree. Because your words, repeated often enough, become your reality. There was once a woman who had been told all her life that she was nothing. She had been abandoned, overlooked, and ignored. She carried those words like stones in her pockets, weighing her down. But one day she decided to speak something new over herself. She said, I am not broken. I am whole. I am not invisible. I am seen. I am not weak. I am powerful. At first the words felt foreign, like shoes that did not quite fit. But she kept saying them. Day after day she affirmed herself, and soon she found that she no longer walked with her head down. She no longer whispered apologies for taking up space. She no longer asked for permission to be great. She stepped into the world as the powerful being she had always been because she had spoken it into existence. And so I ask you, what words will you choose? Will you let the world define you? Or will you define yourself? Will you repeat the words of your doubts, or will you declare the truth of your greatness? Speak with power, speak with love, speak with the certainty that you hold the key to your own destiny. Because the power has always been in you, it just needs to be spoken into life. There is a voice that lives inside each of us, a voice that whispers when we stand on the edge of something new, a voice that rises up when we dare to dream, when we dare to step beyond what we have known. It does not shout, but it does not have to. It is persistent. It is cunning. It wraps itself around our confidence and squeezes, telling us we are not ready, we are not worthy, we are not enough. That voice is doubt. And if you do not silence it, it will silence you. Doubt is not born from truth, it is born from fear. It is the residue of every harsh word you have ever heard, every failure you have ever faced, every moment you felt unseen, unheard, unworthy. Doubt remembers the times you stumbled, but it forgets the times you stood back up. It magnifies your flaws and minimizes your strengths. It is a master of deception, making you believe that its whispers are wisdom when in truth they are chains. Think of a bird perched at the edge of its nest. It has never flown before. It does not yet know the feeling of the wind beneath its wings. Doubt tells that bird you will fall. Doubt says the sky is too vast, the world too dangerous, the journey too uncertain. And if that bird listens, it will never leap. It will never know the freedom that was always meant for it. But when that bird silences doubt, when it dares to trust in the strength of its wings, it soars. And so it is with you. You have spent too much time listening to the voice that tells you to be careful, to stay small, to wait until you are certain. But certainty is an illusion. No one begins their journey with a map drawn to perfection. No one steps into their purpose with every question answered, every fear conquered. The only way to move forward is to silence the voice that tells you not to try. How do you silence doubt? You speak louder. You drown it out with truth. When doubt says you are not good enough, you say, I am more than enough. When doubt says you will fail, you say, every failure is a lesson and I am still learning. When doubt says you do not belong, you say, I was placed here for a reason. You must understand doubt cannot survive where faith is present. It weakens when you refuse to give it space in your mind. It loses power when you stand tall and say, I believe in myself, even when I am afraid. There was once a man who had a dream so big that it frightened him. He wanted to build, to create, to leave a mark on this world. But every time he tried, doubt crept in. What if I fail, it asked. What if no one believes in me? And so he waited. Years passed. He watched others take the risks he was too afraid to take. He saw them stumble. Yes, but he also saw them rise. He saw them grow. He saw them live. And he realized that the only thing standing between him and the life he wanted was that voice in his head. So one day he did something he had never done before. He ignored it. He felt the fear, but he moved forward anyway. He silenced doubt, and in doing so, he found his power. And that is what you must do. You must recognize doubt for what it is, a thief. It will rob you of your dreams, your confidence, your joy, if you let it. But you are stronger than doubt. You are greater than fear. You have within you a voice that is louder, a voice that is wiser, a voice that speaks of possibility, of hope. And when you choose to listen to that voice instead, doubt will fade. It will shrink. It will lose its grip on you. And in that silence, you will find the strength to rise. Your words are not merely sounds drifting through the air. They are the very essence of your inner strength. They can act as a barrier against the harsh winds of criticism and self-doubt, just as a strong shield protects a warrior on the battlefield. When negativity comes knocking, let your declarations be the firm wall that stops its advance. With every word of affirmation you speak, you fortify your heart and mind, building an impenetrable fortress against those forces that would seek to dim your inner light. In the quiet moments before the day unfolds, when uncertainty still lingers in the shadows, allow your words to be the radiant light that guides you. Each hopeful phrase, each promise spoken to yourself becomes a beacon that illuminates your path. Imagine a gentle glow emerging from within, a soft, steady light that cuts through the murk of fear and hesitation. That light is born from your own affirmations. It grows stronger with every positive word, creating a safe haven where doubt cannot enter. There are times when the world seems intent on overwhelming you with its cacophony of disapproval and despair. In those moments, let your language rise above the noise. Speak of your worth with such clarity and conviction that the negativity is forced to recede, leaving you bathed in the warm glow of self-assurance. Like a mighty fortress built from words, your inner dialogue can shield you from the storms of life, deflecting every arrow of criticism before it reaches the tender core of your being. Visualize yourself standing at the edge of a vast dark forest. The trees of uncertainty loom tall and imposing, their branches casting long, intimidating shadows. Now, picture your words as a radiant lantern, a steady flame that not only protects you from the encroaching darkness, but also shows you the way forward. Each declaration of strength, every sentence of hope, acts as both a protective barrier and a guide through the unknown. This dual power of being a shield and a light allows you to step boldly into the future, unafraid of what lies ahead. When you begin your day with a whispered vow of resilience or a soft-spoken promise of joy, you are arming yourself with a gentle yet unyielding armor. In those early hours when the world is still quiet and the only sound is your own heartbeat, you can choose to fill that space with words that nurture and empower. These words become your steadfast companions throughout the day, echoing within you and reminding you that no matter how fierce the winds of challenge, you are enveloped in a protective embrace of self-belief and love. In every instance of self-affirmation, there is a transformative energy of power that not only guards you from the shadows, but also ignites the spark within, brightening even the darkest corners of your mind. As you continue to speak life into your journey, these words will serve as both the shield that deflects the sting of adversity and the light that reveals new pathways to joy and fulfillment. Transformation is not found in the approval of others, nor does it come wrapped in the praise of the world. It does not arrive at your doorstep when you have met a certain standard, nor does it wait until you are flawless. True transformation begins in the quiet chambers of your own heart. It begins with self-love. Self-love is not arrogance. It is not vanity. It is the sacred recognition that you, in your purest form, are worthy of joy, worthy of kindness, worthy of every good thing life has to offer. Yet so many of us have been taught to place our worth in the hands of others, to seek validation in the eyes of those around us. We wait for someone to tell us we are beautiful, for someone to recognize our talents, for someone to give us permission to embrace who we are. But waiting for love to come from the outside is like waiting for the rain to nourish a garden while refusing to turn on the water ourselves. You must be your own wellspring. You must be your own source. Think of a seed planted deep within the earth. It does not grow because the world demands it to. It does not bloom because someone tells it that it is worthy of blooming. No, it reaches toward the sun simply because it was made to grow. And so it is with you. Your growth, your transformation, does not require permission. It only requires love, the kind of love that comes from within. Loving yourself is not a destination, it is a daily practice. It is waking up each morning and choosing to see yourself with kindness, choosing to speak to yourself with gentleness, choosing to honor your journey, even on the days when you stumble. It is looking in the mirror and resisting the urge to tear yourself apart. It is acknowledging your scars, your mistakes, your imperfections, and loving yourself, not in spite of them, but because of them. Every line, every bruise, every chapter of your story has made you who you are, and who you are is worthy of love. How do you begin this transformation? You start by silencing the voice that tells you that you are not enough. That voice is not yours, it is an echo of a world that profits from your doubt, a world that would rather see you small and uncertain. But you were not made to be small. You were not made to shrink. You were made to expand, to take up space, to shine in the fullness of who you are. And that begins the moment you decide to love yourself. When you love yourself, you stop seeking validation in places that were never meant to hold it. You stop chasing relationships that require you to abandon yourself. You stop looking to others to prove your worth. Instead, you become your own proof. You become the love you were waiting for. And when that love takes root within you, everything changes. Your walk becomes steadier. Your voice becomes stronger. Your dreams become clearer. Because when you believe you're worthy, you stop settling for anything less than what your soul truly deserves. There was once a woman who spent years looking for love in others. She shaped herself to fit the expectations of those around her. She said yes when she wanted to say no. She dimmed her light so others would not feel uncomfortable in her presence. And yet, no matter how much she gave, she always felt empty. One day, she stood in front of the mirror and asked, "What if I gave all this love to myself?" And so she did. She spoke to herself with kindness. She set boundaries where there were none. She stopped apologizing for simply existing, and as she did, something remarkable happened. She transformed. The world did not change, but she did. She became whole. She became free. And so I ask you, what would happen if you chose to love yourself fully and unapologetically? What would happen if, instead of seeking approval, you granted it to yourself? What would happen if you became the love you have been waiting for? I will tell you what would happen. You would transform. Because transformation does not come from the outside. It does not wait for the world's permission. It begins with you. It begins with self-love. The way you see yourself is the way the world will see you. The words you speak about yourself, the thoughts you entertain, the energy you carry, these shape the way others respond to you. If you walk into a room with your head down, afraid to take up space, unsure of your worth, the world will treat you accordingly. But if you step forward with confidence, with the quiet assurance that you are deserving, that you belong, the world will take notice. Your self-perception is like a mirror. It does not just reflect inward, it reflects outward. The way you think about yourself influences your actions, your choices, and the way others engage with you. If you see yourself as small, you will act small. If you see yourself as unworthy, you will settle for less. But if you recognize your own value, if you understand that you are just as deserving of love, respect, and opportunity as anyone else, then you will move through life differently. And when you move differently, the world will adjust. Think about the way people treat those who walk with quiet confidence. Not arrogance, not pride, but a steady, unshakable belief in their own worth. These people are not always the loudest in the room. They do not demand attention with force, yet somehow others listen when they speak. Their presence commands respect, not because they ask for it, but because they embody it. Now, contrast that with someone who doubts themselves at every turn. They second-guess their words, hesitate before they act, shrink when they should stand tall. The world picks up on that uncertainty. People are more likely to overlook them, to dismiss their ideas, to treat them as if they are less than they truly are. Not because they are less, but because they have presented themselves that way. You teach people how to treat you if you consistently allow yourself to be spoken over, interrupted, dismissed. The world will believe that this is acceptable. If you accept mistreatment, if you make excuses for those who belittle you, the world will assume you are comfortable with it. But if you set a standard, if you walk with dignity, if you refuse to accept anything less than respect, people will rise to meet that standard. Imagine a person who constantly calls themselves unlucky, who says, "Nothing ever works out for me." Over time, they begin to move through life as if this statement is fact. They stop trying, stop taking risks, stop believing in their own ability. And what happens? Life meets them where they are. They miss opportunities because they no longer seek them. They stay in places where they are unhappy because they do not believe they can do better. The world does not deny them success, they deny it to themselves. Now, imagine another person, one who, despite challenges, continues to say, "I am capable. Good things are coming my way." This person is not immune to hardship, but they do not allow hardship to define them. They believe in their ability to overcome. They walk into opportunities with the expectation of success. And because of that mindset, they find it. They notice chances that others overlook. They try again when others would quit. They carry themselves in a way that tells the world, "I am worthy." And the world responds in kind. This is not about pretending or arrogance. It is not about forcing the world to see something that is not there. It is about recognizing that how you see yourself determines what you accept, what you pursue, and how others engage with you. The person who believes they are worthy of respect will demand it not through aggression, but through their very presence. The person who believes they deserve kindness will not tolerate cruelty. The person who carries themselves with dignity will be treated with dignity. There was once a young woman who had spent her life underestimating herself. She had talent, but she never spoke up. She had dreams, but she doubted she could achieve them. When she walked into a room, she tried to make herself small, hoping not to attract attention. And the world treated her the way she treated herself. It overlooked her, dismissed her, failed to recognize her greatness. One day she decided to change the way she saw herself. She began speaking words of affirmation. She stopped apologizing for her presence. She stopped questioning whether she deserved to be in the spaces she entered. Slowly, the world began to reflect this change. People listened when she spoke. Opportunities found her. She had not changed who she was. She had simply changed how she saw herself. And in doing so, she changed the way the world saw her too. So I ask you, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as powerful, as worthy, as deserving, or do you see yourself as less than you are? Because the world is watching, the world is listening, and whether you know it or not, it is responding to the way you present yourself. You do not have to wait for permission to be great. You do not need validation to claim your space. The moment you believe in yourself, the moment you recognize your worth, the world will take notice. And when you treat yourself with respect, with love, with certainty, the world will follow your lead. So I ask you, if the world is always watching, always listening, always responding, what message are you sending? Are you moving through life as if you are worthy of joy, of success, of love? Or are you waiting for someone else to tell you that you deserve these things? The truth is, you have always been enough. You have always been worthy. The world does not decide that for you. You decide it for yourself. When you stand tall, when you walk with purpose, when you speak with certainty, the world will take notice. And when you stop waiting for permission and start carrying yourself with the confidence of someone who belongs, the world will reflect that right back to you. So let today be the day you see yourself as you truly are strong, capable, deserving. And as you step into that truth, watch how the world rises to meet you.